So I made this addition to, I'm gonna make this for the video. We're gonna talk about the baby mamas. They're also assisting in these little gang stalking ones. So we have one, she's kind of, I mean, she was cool slightly when we first got married. The bitch is kind of weird. She's African, Nigerian, and black. Her dad's Nigerian. She's slow Nigerian, lives in Moreno Valley. His name's Christian. She has daddy issues because her dad left her around 10, and her mom, didn't have a whole lot. So she's kind of we putting that shit off on all her little relationships. But her name is Christina Court. She's a decent little girl. She's alright. I mean, she's decent for her type. But going forward, she got in a little. After we started having our little ins and outs, we had a daughter. She started dealing with the dude. She never really liked the dude. She said he wasn't that attractive. She ended up giving him later on because the dude offered her his subpar money. The dude never really made money like that. He worked for the county of San Bernardino. He got fired because he was giving her information about me, and because she was trying to find out stuff because I had got a second baby mama while I was still married to her. So then it's this guy named Ryan Caballo. He's an ugly ass dude. I don't really care for him, but I never had anything against him. Just don't be giving her information about me. So he got reported to his county. He got fired. San Diego hired him on because he's a little white boy. So he tried to slide his little steak breath ass up in there. The dude's kind of, I'm like I said, the dude's weird as fuck. They're both weird. I mean, but two peas in a pod. I don't really care. I know slightly about him towards the end. He kind of came back around, and the dude's just that dude's fucking highly weird. He's one of those dudes like he just fucking. She has this thing called Melanin And Cocktails. Melanin Cocktails on YouTube, Facebook, with their friend Amanda. I don't even know Amanda's fucking last name. She's called Secret something. But it's called Melanin And Cocktails, and she describes her whole relationship with most of their commentary on there. They're talking about relationships. It's mainly about me, and which is funny. That's why I never really cared about their stuff. But he would complain, I guess, through the relationships about him having to spend money. So he got her with money. He tried to bribe her, tried to be like, oh, I'll pay this and that. Dude, your income wasn't even that. You made like $50,000 in cash and another 40 something in compensations, which are health benefits and this and that. You couldn't even half-ass afford a fucking other relationship. The dude he moved from apartment to apartment all his fucking years. I didn't even bother to look up the guy until after I got out of prison. And because something had dawned on me, because I kept getting gang stalked, and then I seen him drive by my job one day, because I recognized his face. And I was just like, isn't that Ryan dude? And he drove by the gray truck, and it's like, the dude's fucking weird as fuck. But he drove by my job, and I didn't even bother to even tell her about it, because I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I have a whole nother baby mom to deal with, and that bitch is she's fucking 10 times 8 fucking shit. San Diego. I mean, she's a little beautiful female, but the bitch is just fucking, she called me like 30 times last night. So, you know what I mean? I still lightweight deal with her. And highly deal with her, and fucking, you know what I mean? We're just, she's a headache for me, but she's whatever. But the other one, I was dealing with both of them at the same time. I was spending the weekdays with one and the weekends with the other one. And so as we're going, I guess the white boy just tried to find his end, because Christina was going out ape shit crazy most of the time. I come back falling out, crying and shit, yada yada yada. I had a second kid with the other one. I had my daughter with Christina, and then I had a son with Vanessa, which is Vanessa Schubert, and that's the second one. And then I had another daughter with Vanessa, and that's what made Christina go crazy, because she was like, I'm the only one supposed to have her daughter, yada yada yada, a whole bunch of dumb shit. So I was like, whatever, bitch. So I dipped out, left from we ended up ending our shit in like 2017. when she was trying to deal with the white boy. The white boy came back around. He had, sorry, I had a little cough. Had a little hay fever like a week ago when I was in Vegas. And anyway, long story short, he had fucked like her EBT or something, then turned around and tried to help her resolve her stuff. He had did some like cooning and buffooning, some like slave shit or some stuff. And the dude's kind of weird because he's like, the dude's just fucking weird. I don't know a whole lot about him. I started finding out more recently, like he has some of the same family members that I have are in relation with what I have, which I didn't even know the whole fucking time. I think this dude like ran my whole fucking background, did some weird ass shit, was using the county, and still to this day they try to use the whole fucking thing. So with their Melanin And Cocktails and some of the commentary that she used, I noticed that she had mentioned something about, oh, Ryan doesn't go against the cops and da-da-da-da. So I knew a lot of this gang stuff was going with the cops, but him with the county, he was trying to utilize little white boy, and white boys in the little Sharice over here in the Riverside County because they were living over here in Marietta and Temecula. They try to do that shit because the first questions that I got asked when I went to parole was this white boy fucking parole officer came out and was just like, who's she married to? I'm like, bitch, she might as well be, she was my wife, my nigga, what the fuck? She was married to me, what the fuck? Shut your whole ass up, white boy. So she fucking came back around and he was like, he asked me a slew of fucking stupid ass questions, so they started sticking me with a whole bunch of like Mexicans and da-da-da-da, just doing some dumb stuff, trying to call me racist. But first of all, check this out. My other baby mama is half black and half Mexican, so you can call me whatever else. My sister's married to a whole fucking Mexican. His name is fucking Sandoval Martinez. She's in Martinez now. They have two beautiful children. We have the cousin Mario that's in fucking Northern San Bernardino. That's a fucking Mexican. So it's just like you're trying to do this whole racist fucking tip, but my baby mom is literally fucking half fucking Mexican. Mom's fucking Mexican. So we can forget that stuff. But this is just the way I talk. You take offense to it or not, I don't give a fuck. But some of my best friends growing up were white. So I mean, we can name them all off, but it's like you try to paint this picture of a person, which when you go back and hear commentary, this dude never had any friends. He can never get a female. You go to her YouTube things and it's Melanin and Cocktails. She states it in there. Most of her comments and their segments were about me when they were talking about it. Oh, my ex-husband, oh, he did my one now, he cooks better, and that. She still had a lot of resentment and animosity towards the relationship, which I understand. I was doing some fucking some fucked up shit, you know what I mean? I was going back and forth between, I do it like every day. And I was with one day, and that one the same day, I'll go back the same day and be with both of them. And I mean, it was fucked up, you know what I mean? And she would be over there crying and da-da-da, and, you know, having all type of, that's what caused a lot of our stints. But in lieu of that, I believe when they were doing that, these little slew of sexual parole officers and little fucking Riverside Shariffs tried to go over there and were trying to get their little ends on and baby mama. They probably was trying to sneak in on his little shit, which had nothing to do with me because I wasn't with the bitch. So he do whatever the fuck you want. But just they a lot of them I know were getting, I wouldn't say a lot, but some of them, these little Shariffs, that's why I call the sheriffs the Shariffs, were getting, you know, had their little minor shits, and they like these little fucking girls and stuff like that. And I have my daughter over there, so they probably figured there was a little in, my daughter Michaela. So I was writing the state attorney generals, you know, tell them to stay away from my kids, tell them to stay away from my shit as far as with that, because you have no reason to even go around my kids. The state the Sharice had nothing to do with parole. The only reason they have all this extra access, they can do it for parolees and have helicopters, is that the parole agents are doing it. Now, I know some of the parole agents were trying to get at Vanessa too, because she was telling me about that. We had specific ones in there that were doing the shit. There were some of the old black dudes in there, because they had a lot of old ass black fucking parole agents. So what it is correctional officers turn into parole agents, parole officers. So the correctional officers in the state of California, they have a lateral transfer, and their pay fucking sucks. But they transfer over there. So what it was is they were trying to fuck up my pay the whole time when I was going in there, because Ryan was also going back, trying to do my shit to try to keep his little fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck about that bitch. Like, she'll come back any fucking time, and all her fucking segments on YouTube are about me. Everything she talked about half-ass was about me. None of Christina's friends even fucking like fucking Ryan. The dude is a fucking douchebag, and he's ugly as fuck. The dude's his teeth are all fucked up. If you look at any of his pictures, the dude looks like a fucking chomo. So the dude, he comes over and they're trying to fuck my pay because I've always made way better money than that dude. That dude's never even touched the fucking even in the spectrum of any realm that type of money that I've ever made. He couldn't even gravitate toward that. She was stressed out during the beginning of the relationship because this fool came in and told her he made $100,000 in fucking salary. So what the fuck was it? What he failed to tell the dumb bitch was he made $50,000 or less. So that alluded to probably he made about 40 in actual cash. And that's he's a state employee. I mean a county employee. So he only made after taxes a certain amount. The rest was in compensation for his benefits, which was his health care, his insurance, and shit like that. So when you grouped it together, yes, he told her that. He lied to her from fucking jump. The dude's been lying to her the whole fucking time because he's fucking weird. The dude's a fucking legitimate fucking weirdo. Like, and so he tries to go around to these little Sharifs, these little Riverside ones. They had the little white boys that was trying to hit me up at one time, but it was mainly just Mexicans, so they're trying to use that. And then they were trying to get at me and basically they were trying to get at my kids. We were trying to locate her at times because they kept popping up at our different little addresses, which they had no reason to do that. So we were trying to have investigations started with the state and stuff like that. Because you Sharice have nothing to do with my household. I don't even know you fucking people. Stop coming around my fucking household. Stop coming around my families. Stop popping up on my families. But they figured they had some leeway because my dad, he was I guess one of the highest ranking cops in there. He was the youngest correctional officer in the state when he first started. Not black, not youngest black correctional officer, youngest correctional officer in the state, period, when he started, back when he started. That's how he was able to retire early at 49 years old. Not many are able to retire that young. My family, Christina's dad has money. Christina's mom, she's not worth it. She doesn't have any money. Ryan's family is broke as fuck, especially for generally white people are supposed to supposedly have all type of money. My family has more money than they have, money. My mom and dad. My dad, you cannot retire at 49 years old with freaking $500,000 in your account. You're just not gonna fucking do that shit. But my people have more money than they have, both of them. So he's like he's like a con artist. He tries to find where they can try to make money. He tries to find where he can try to get over on. The county, stupid San Diego County hired that fucker back on for whatever reason, probably because he's white, and they try to put that dude back on. But they're both poor as shit. They're both of their families they don't really have any money, so they're trying to make their association now. They're trying to come up. They're trying to find their way. They're trying to fake it till they make it type of shit. I've always made more money as a teenager and coming up than any of them combined. So Christina or Ryan. So they had the cops going around when they were gang stalking, taking old items of hers and going around to like places where they thought that people might be and putting them items over there, like her old dresses and this and that. Because at the time I wasn't doing the custody stuff with her yet, and then I started file custody, and we were looking for my daughter. And there's no reason that any of these cops should be around my kids whatsoever, or these parole officers. They shouldn't be around my kids. We don't know any of these parole officers except for two. So there should be only Regina Daniels and a Carla Bayless, Carla is my cousin. So she's a correctional officer for fucking, what's that, Donovan down in San Diego. She might have turned into a parole officer, but any of that, I'm not related to any of those other fuckers at that parole office. There's no reason they should be around any of my fucking family or my kids. So any of my kids come up missing, whatever else, or any harm came to them, it's because these fuckers were around them. They don't need to be around any of my fucking kids, nor their shit they be. So I'm gonna keep this video kind of late, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna go show some pictures of her. We're gonna go from there. And we're gonna continue with the other baby mama and why there's a lot of this stuff was happening too. Because they were going back to these parole officers was going back to Christina and his family members because she had mentioned the cops, these Sharifs, on one of her segments, and then I had contacted the Fed shortly after that. I had talked to Adam Pulsar, whatever his name is, about the gang stalking, and they were trying to lie about it because they were trying to get around Christina. What they're trying to do is they're trying to backdoor Ryan probably too, try to sleep with this little batch, and then Ryan was getting attitude probably too, and thinking that now the cops were his friend and doing some little gay stuff and doing whatever. But she's a Jehovah's Witness, Christina, so she can't up front try to do her her little sneaking around and trying to sleep with people because she'll get excommunicated and they won't talk to her, which basically she'll get kicked out of the congregation. Every congregation around the world can't talk to her, and she'll be notated in books. So she tries to sneak around and do her shit. She's kind of confused in her head. She has a lot of as far as mental issues, because you could watch even her TikTok and her stuff, and she talks about the same stuff year after year. She needs acceptance from people. She needs a lot of stuff. So if you look at her name's Christina Court. Now it's Caballo. It's Clabo. Maiden name is Court. Court. But yeah, she like I said, these officers think that we're going around. And lightweight, to me, they're really trying to get at my young daughter as well, because especially their parole officers, and there was a Bonner that was always popping up. There was a lot of the little bald black dudes over there, but I mean those dudes are freaking weird. I mean, they were trying to go behind, but my aunt still worked for the office at the time, and it was just going from there. But we'll go from there. So watch this video, check it out. Check out the girls' Melanin. It's called Melanin, like skin melanin, and cocktails. So if you look up Christina Court, you'll see the Melanin and Amanda as well. Check it out.